Hello? Okay. Hello? Okay. Hello? Okie dokie. Let's see. Can you hear that shit? Alrighty. Well, let's go through some responses. I'm not sure if I can see anybody's like chat or if Patreon has a chat. I'll have to figure that out sometime. But there should be a download for it. I'll wait a little bit longer. I'll start it about at 5:05. If everybody's okay with that. And then we can start going through some submissions. Alrighty. 2 minutes. Let's just dive right in, actually. Okay. Let me get the first one. And sorry if I'm like sniffling a lot. I am sick, I guess. So my nose is all runny. I have to like blow every so often, so I apologize if that's annoying for you guys. Anyways, first off we have LX. Excuse me. Let's take a listen, buddy. Screams from the Abyss. I'll do like a full listen through and then I'll give my initial thoughts and then I'll kind of like dive around and discuss like more in detail of parts I like and don't like. Oh man, my notes are going all over the place. Oh well. Let me just make this smaller. There you go. Okay. So, it's pretty good so far. My main issues are mixing with this. It's very flat, distorted, kind of really messy. You'll hear me complain a lot about mixing with these streams because I'm a big stickler for how things are mixed. So, yeah. So let's just go with the intro and then I'll get the build up. The intro, you know, your typical dubstep thing, big horn background. I think it's cool that you had a little bass, machine gun bass here, just in the background, kind of. My only problem with this is that the bass is really loud. Kind of takes, or the horn. I'm saying takes a lot of the front of the music, a lot in the face. So there's not that much you can really add here to give it that much definition. It's just that it plays 4 times. I think a song like that is boring. Personally, when you need to make music, what I try to shoot for is something to grab the listener's attention. I feel like in bass music in general, there's a lot of lack of care in the intro of the song, and in the breakdown, any of the part that's not the drop. And the reality of the situation is, like, yes, the drop is like the most important part. That's what you're gonna hear at shows for the most part, but it also doesn't establish an identity super well. Drops, especially in like rhythm, man, like 4 on the floor, square note, those rhythm kids. Like, it's really hard to get a good identity with the bass sound. And so I hear like the main bass. It's like, those are cool sounds, yes, but there's not much of an identity. There's not much of a motif. When you are making a song, you want a good identity to the song, a motif, some kind of thing. It can pull up any example. I don't know. Let's do Murata, since you guys all love Murata. Tear Out, we all know that stuff. Avoidable Cause, since that's like the hot one right now. So the motif in this that everybody can identify is that little the vocal thing, because like abada, right? So he has like the bass play, and then he gives space to that motif to kind of play. It's like, if you just played that sound, if I isolated the entire drop, only had that vocal play, you're like, oh, that's Avoidable Cause by Murata. Oh, I know that song. Like, it's easy to identify. You want something in here like this. You almost have it with like this vocal, but I don't know what in the world he's saying. And I think the artist taken from this is used quite often. So in here, in the intro, you want to establish a sort of motif, like just how Murata did it. He had the kind of vocal motif repeating in there. You want something in there. The bass is good. It's a good addition to it, but you need to add something to add that motif. Otherwise, it's just like horn, 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 bass, build up, and then drop. Your build up is really loud. I should add that the whole song is really loud. There's not any dynamics, and this is like a really boomer thing to say, but hang in there for me. When the drop is here, the loudness of the song should be at its peak, not where the intro is. The build-up is kind of an exception just because you're building up energy, but it's not supposed to be flat the entire way through. You're supposed to be building up energy. And the only way you can do that is if there's low energy to begin with. You can't just transition from high energy to high energy. And over this course of the song, like, the only parts that have dynamics are like right here, but it's still really loud. You just have like a bunch of noise going on everywhere. It's like, do you need to have all that present? Probably not. And this kick right here is just really loud. I would just turn it down here. You also have a bunch of cymbals and stuff just making a lot of noise. Just turn it down a little bit. You can do a simple trick where you get like a Master Effects chain, and you get like a utility of some sort, and then dip it like a decibel or 2 before the drop. That's a real popular one. Like mixing engineers, they would add like 5 different parameters to automate throughout the entire song. So it would be like reverb, high passing, making it less stereo. There's several things you can do to make it more impactful at the drop. Some of the things I would do is like the stereo separation. I would make it more mono as it would approach the drop. So like from the start of the build up, just have like an automation for a stereo and automate it downwards so it's more mono, but not completely mono. You just want to do a little bit. So it gets really thin, and then as soon as the drop hits where the first bass is there, you want to go back to like full wideness. So like, this isn't counting the pre-drop of chorus. Like right here, you would just make it really wide. So it'd be like 50% width to 100% right there. You could also do something like a high pass. So it's kind of finicky the way you should set this up in a master chain, because if you add a high pass, just in general, if you put it at like 0 even, it's going to add phase issues. So if you do add a high pass on the master chain, you can either put to linear phase, so it doesn't affect the phase at all, or you can just automate to where it's only on at the buildup, which is what I do. But like even a small high pass, like 12 decibels an octave, having it slowly creep up to here, to where it's like a sweeping motion, you don't hear any bass. That would also help with clipping, I believe. And having it open up again so you hear the sub at the drop. That is a really good utility to make the drop more impactful. And then we have like reverb. Nothing really much to say there except for like you can add reverb and automate it up or down to your liking. So let's go on the drop. I think I should probably like stream this on YouTube for next time, just so I can see like any live comments that are here, because I have no indication of how many people are even watching or if people are watching at all. I see a comment from someone and that's about it. So I might do that next stream, but for now I think it's fine. The main drop. So I said that it was a bit messy here, and it kind of is. So I can hear your main bass. It's using something like a reverb filter or Coleman's filter, something of that sort, just like a serum filter of some kind. And it's just really messy. You are taking a note from Serum, you're putting it down, you put the filter on there, and you called it a day. There's more to do with the sound. You can shape it more. Even inside the same Serum plugin, you can automate like the loudness of it so it's not just like a mess. So what the filters do is it kind of smooths the sound. It takes away a transient. It makes the decay longer without you realizing it. And the way that people do it in dubstep usually, I mean, you're not automating the bass that much. I would say just render out the main like metallic bass out and then place it in manually and then add curves to it, cut it up a little bit, make it shorter, just edit it as it would be if it was a sample, and just allow it to emphasize the rhythm more, because the rhythm is very loosely implied here. You can shape it as much as you want if you have it in audio. Just treat it like a sample. The drum mixing kind of makes sense here because it's really distorted and the bass is distorted. It's just one style mixing. It's very messy, but I get what you're going for. So the bass also, a note that you can do is with the sub bass and the metallic thing that you have in there, a cool little trick you can do is you can distort them together. So take the sub bass and the metallic bass and then combine them into one mixer channel, and then you can apply as much effects as you want. The reason why it's better to do it this way than just have them both route to the master is because you can process them together, kind of glue them together, and then put it in the master so it sounds better and processed before it hits any of the mastering effects or sidechain, any of that stuff. So it'll be really clean. The smallest thing you can do is probably put them together and then add a little bit of saturation to it. So that way it kind of glues together. You can also add OTT if you wanted, just something to glue them together a bit more. I'd also just make that main bass like wider. Just take like a stereo effect and just make it wider. See right here, your laser sounds, those are implying a rhythm that is kind of lost in your sound design. If you had the shaping technique down where you just rendered it out and added curves, whatever, you already have that rhythm like ready to apply. It'd probably sound even better if you layered it with a laser here. But that laser is a great addition. It helps with the rhythm a lot. It kind of brings a better flow instead of just the drums, because the drums are doing all the work for the rhythm right now. So I was gonna comment here. I find this part really annoying. It kind of just ends the drop. And it sounds like it's kind of broken here. Like you just hear banda 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 banda. It's like repeating, and when I was listening to this at first, I thought my computer crashed or something. Yeah, you gotta add something there, man. That's like really annoying and just not good to listen to. Just add something there, add some sweeps, automation, something there. You can probably fade these in better with like a filter of some sort. Just get like a low pass, just sweep it up slowly, because like it was a little jarring there. Oh yeah, right here. You can hear it really bad right here with the bass. I can kind of hear the tone. You're going like banana, 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 banana. But the sound design is so messy, you can't even tell that's what it's doing. It just sounds like noise. And that can be good in some parts, but in this case, it's really detrimental to your flow. I feel like having the horns here is a weird choice by song structure design. It kind of makes it feel like there's gonna be another drop incoming. If I'm being honest, you should take this whole entire section here, put it after the excuse me. Gosh, put after the first drop, so is there like a transition? If it's the outro and you're having horns like this, low pass them or something, because there's a lot of energy right here and it makes me feel like there's gonna be another drop. You can probably add these guys back at the outro if they were low passed and you took away the cymbal. Probably also fade out the bass, the metallic bass. Sorry, afterwards. Okay, so my final notes on this guy. We didn't really talk about the mixing or mastering because it's something that I can kind of generalize at the end. But your structuring seems pretty good. You have your intro, build up, drop. Pretty basic, but makes sense. I didn't have any issues with it. Completely fine. Although it is really safe. And if you're wanting to impress people, especially like A&Rs for labels, you kind of want to go a little bit outside the box, but for now, I think it's fine. You know, you're not trying to make something insane. I think it's good for what it is. my main issues were really the sound design. When you're making this kind of tear out music, I know the sound design is very messy usually, but you can do a lot to make it clean and shaped up. I personally don't like a lot of the mixing that people do in this kind of tear out, where it's like really messy metallic. A lot of people do it really badly, and they just add a lot of distortion on here. My comments would be to fix up the sound design here, glue them together, make them kind of more meshed together. The mixing is just really loud. You need to turn off all the master effects and try to make it sound good before it even hits the master. The master should only make it loud, and that's it. Yeah, those are about the notes I have for that song. Okay, let's go on to the next one. This one's from whatever this name is, HDDNRNBW. If there's a way you can pronounce that, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just refer to you as Big Wink. You want a specific problem at 2 minutes. So let's see that. Let's just do a run through. I love this. Nikado is back for revenge. Oh yeah, the king of mukbang. Oh shit. Ah, I'm gonna write notes. Okay. I made the text a little bit smaller so I can fit more on here. Okay. The start synth is interesting. It sounds weird, like there's like reverb on it or something. And then it just transitions to guitar that's like high passed, and then like what? Why is it high passed here? And then you just have like a super low pass like bass. It doesn't make sense. You should have the guitar be in this section at the start with that weird organ thing over it, but mixed in. Don't have this high passed. I don't know why it sounds high passed. It also sounds like a mistake because like right here it's more high pass and then it just kind of goes down the cutoff. Unless it's like another layer on there. It might be another layer you're adding, but still I don't know why it's high passed. Just take away the high pass. And that's cool right there. Like that's a cool part of it. But then it goes in this weird like low passed kick. But then there's like a riser that isn't low passed. Just a really weird choice for what came before. So when you're making a build up, you want to make sure you have context for what came before and what it's going into. This part, an actual drop somewhere connected than this build up. I think you really need to work on this transition here where it goes from the intro to the build up. Because a complete 180. Take away the low pass from the kick, or just make it not that loud. It's just a different riser. That riser is really weird. I would say in this section, replace that clap, or I'm sorry, that kick with a clap. So it's just like a clap, no filters on it, just have a different filter on there, one that is just like a sweep. You can also add other risers and filters. The bass, fine, just leave it as is. And over in this section, have that kick be low pass and start from here. So go do 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 do. I think that'll be a better structure for what you're going for. Also might help with this transition if you add like a down filter effects, an impact of some sort. So have like some kind of sweep and then an impact here, and that'll make the transition a bit smoother. I think that's Nick Cotto saying something, but it's kind of unclear and it's really quiet. Just for the fun of it, you should just have the pre-drop be some kind of Nick Cotto thing, since it seems kind of themed around him. Like, you know, just have like a vocal of him going like ah or something. I don't filter as much. I think this section right here is sick. That part, that first bass is sick. Very good. I love it. I think you should stay on this bass for 8 bars, and then you can go to the other bass for the next 8 bars. You also have a weird thing where you have this really cool motif, and then you just stay on this bass. Like right here. Did it right here. Like, do that. Just do that twice. It'll be fine. This part's pretty cool. I don't know what kind of effect you're adding. It sounds like chorus or something. I think it's kind of taking away from the sound that's going on because it sounds like distorted in the mids. You can just leave it with a bit of reverb. I think it's fine, or OTT or something. I noticed something here with the master. Yeah, when you hear that like first impact where the bass is kind of sliding down, you hear the limiter on the master or bus or whatever you have ducking a lot. So you need to figure out why that is and kind of fix it because it's ducking a lot here and it's really noticeable. I think it's mainly the sub. You should check out the sub here and see why it's doing that. It sounds like a doubling effect. Like you have 2 sub basses playing at the same time. Also, the sub is really loud here. You don't need to make the sub this loud. Honestly, right here, instead of going this, like, this weird B section, let's go back to the original motif, but make the sound different. You have like some kind of sounding thing, just turn the filter or the wavetable to a different position, and then just have that play for the last, say, 16 bars. That should be fine. I think the way you faded this dropout was great. I loved it. And this part, this is the weirdest part. I was listening to this part and I skipped because I just didn't like it at all. You need to completely redo this part. This guitar thing is so jarring. Like you had a cool fade out here, and then it just cuts to like a new section. Yeah, I don't have much to comment onto this except you should redo this part. This is my least favorite part of the entire song. It's like melodic for some reason. Like what you had here was good. And you're just doing this quarter note guitar rhythm. It's melodic. Incoming. Cool vocal. Same notes with the last build up. Just change that up. I think in this section you can kind of bring the motif back a little bit, where it goes like that. Ba-na-na-na-na. Excuse me. Oh, fuck. Ba-na-na-na-na down down. Like ba-na-na-na down down down. Ba-na-na-na down down. Something like that. This is a cool part. It's just at this point when you do quarter notes, you've got to know you're competing with everybody else in the industry that does quarter notes, and it's just a battle of who can do the best quarter notes. You can add your motif back. You can make it have an identity. You don't have to just keep it quarter notes. And you already built a good identity in the first drop, so just bring it back, add some reference to it. And the end, I mean, it just cuts off. You can just have like some monologue of Nikocado saying whatever, or just like heavy ambient noise for like 10 seconds or something, and it'll be fine. It shouldn't just cut out like that. Say like if you want someone to play the song out, you know, you want to have a little bit of transition for them, like 16 bars of just something so they can fade it out easily. But otherwise, this is a pretty good song. I liked it. This part, very sick bass. Keep going. Mixing wise, your mixing was pretty good. I think you have a lot of issues with the stereo width of the second bass. Yeah, this guy right here, that little bass. It's kind of a bit wide in the low end compared to your really thin first bass. I think you have like a limiter on the master or something where it sounds really good here, but in this part it falls apart completely. Like the sub sounds so loud and like it's making everything else quieter to compensate. Like your sub is just so freaking loud that it's triggering the limiter to turn everything down. Like that's what it sounds like. Yeah, I think I already said about as much as I needed to. Song structure is pretty good. Again, this part just whew. Yeah, pretty good. Awesome submission. And we'll move on to the next one. Oh, yeah, it said 2 minutes. Is that the part that I was talking about? On the 2 minute mark? Yeah. This part, if you want more detailed, I guess, yeah, bring this part back. Like, it's fine to bring it back. You can even add on to it, because it is a good, like, motif. But this part is the worst part of it. You can even add it in a different instrument or something. I just like that motif you had. Okay, next one. Skeletor. Skeletor. I think I've seen your stuff before. Okay, I'm sorry. I kind of wasn't paying attention for this part. Oh boy. Damn. Okay. Fuck, dude. That was pretty awesome. You wanted feedback on the mixing and mastering. Alrighty. Okay. I'll give like some minor notes about the intro and all that. This part's really cool, and then you have like this weird acid bass coming in. That acid bass, this thing, I don't like it. It's really weird. You have the hi-hat giving like an imposed rhythm, and this acid bass is like so non-rhythmic. It's like weird to tell where it starts. I can kind of hear the implied rhythm of what you wrote down on MIDI, but it's not really clicking that those are the notes. You have a cool feel here. You can add something here in the next like 4 bars of just like an added ride cymbal, or have the snare or kick play and then build up into this fill to make it a bit easier. On this part, I don't know what's going on here. It's just so much sub bass in this build up for no reason at all. You don't need this much sub here. Like, just cut the sub. Like, literally. There's no reason for this to be so much sub here. Cool pre-drop. So taken right from the Murata handbook of awesome pre-drops. If you're going to have a vocal play here and it's going to be wide and like that kind of starting to the drop, cut out the machine gun bass here. And also make the highs of that vocal a bit louder. Mixing is pretty good. I enjoy the mixing. I think that your bass is very high and heavy, relatively at least. Your kick is very dull. I think your kick is mixed well, but I have an issue with your clap. Your clap is very like mid heavy, mids, high mids. Like it's very or like a rhythm, like ominous snare kind of thing. The reason why it works in those cases and not in this one is because in those rhythm cases, like the bass is also very dull. There's not a lot of instruments that are taking that range, so the snare doesn't really need to fight for it. In this case, you have a lot of high end and it's taken away from the snares, so you can do one of two things. You can replace a snare with, or a clap with a one that's higher in like the presence, the very high end, or just get an EQ on this clap and boost the high end of it. I would rather just boost the high end on this because we're gonna have a mix anyways. You probably just need to boost the high end and lower the volume down a little bit. These fill sounds, they're cool. I like them. I just turn them down a little bit. They're very dry, and your main bass is very wet and has a lot of reverb and is against like the sub bass a lot with like distortion. Just turn it down a little bit because it's a little too much. This part I love. That's very cool. Yep. Those are just my general thoughts on that. I don't have much else to say about this. I just really thoroughly enjoyed. I was gonna say the bass gets a little bit boring here. You could add some kind of like change in this. Just make one of the filters higher. Change the sample. Something here to give it a bit more life. Even the scream, you like a screech here. It's kind of like, ba. I could go higher here. Go ba ba. Wow. Something. Actually, this is a good idea. So you have like some change in the bass right here, where it's like higher pitch. Put that higher pitch change on this B section, or sorry, not B section, this like second part of the first drop. And then the first part of the B drop, go back to the lower end sound. So be low, high, low, and high. That way it's like you have the variation of the bass is like spread out over a short period of time. A longer period of time, I mean. So that way it's not like boring. But very good. I enjoyed it a lot. Good submission. Good. Mecha Wolf. Mecha Wolf. Let's see what you have in store for us, Mecha Wolf. It's not here, Mecha Wolf. This, I think you copied in the URL incorrectly. It just says AC. And that's not long enough for the thing. Is there something that starts with AC here? No. Damn. Okay. Well, there's nothing I can do about that right now. It probably would be helpful if I had like a live chat. Maybe next time I'll put it on like YouTube, and like it'll be public. The live stream will be public on YouTube, but only paid members or just members will be able to submit. I think that would work best. Like, I'm sorry, Mecha Wolf, if you're seeing this, you have to submit it again for me to review. Otherwise, we're gonna move on to Kuroi. Kuroi. Okay. Kuroi. Eclipse. Oh, it's like backwards. So is your artist name Kuroi? Okay. Kuroi. Whoa. Oh, hold on. Oh, hold on. Is that avoidable cause? Let's go back. I should. I should have done that. Right here. Mecha Wolf. Oh, can you see it on YouTube? Hold on. What? If you are watching this on YouTube, say something. I'm using a I'm like live streaming through Patreon and it uses a YouTube link and that's what I was using. I didn't know if you guys could comment or live stream or chat on the live stream. I didn't get anything for that. So if you can chat, say something. Anyways, let's go to this then. Oh. Damn. Oh yeah, I can see you guys chat. That's weird. I have to go on like the stream. Yeah, I like this a lot so far, Mecha Wolf. Dude, this is really cool. I like it a lot. There's a lot of like issues with the mixing, I believe, and a little bit of song switcher issues, but overall, this is a pretty solid submission. I like this one. Very cool intro. Dude, the number one thing I hate when I hear submissions for the remix contest is them just use the same horn just over and over and over again. I think this guy actually made like a thing, yeah, of all the remixes, and like literally all of them have the fucking like horn, yeah, like. Dude, like, it's just like, holy shit. This one's just, they just put fucking whatever on there, but oh dude, it's so refreshing to not hear that fucking horn. Like, that was so annoying to listen to when I was like listening to other people's submissions. Like, oh, horn, horn, horn. They're all they do is just pitch shift it or put fucking I don't know, pitch map on there and they call it a day. Like, it's so boring. Accepting any late submissions on the Patreon for feedback. If it's in the forum, then I'm going to get to it. So I am only like 4 people in, and there's, let me check, I think there's 9 submissions so far. So as long as you are here before the stream ends, you should have a chance. You have a cool ass fucking, dude, your intro is like really good. You have a cool ass fucking guitar, you have a little respace going around, you got some other effects, like really solid intro. Like, props to you, holy fuck. Very solid transition to the build up. Wow. Damn, dude. I will say right here, you have that like skipped kick thing going on. Just take that out. It's weird, and you barely established it as a 4/4 pattern in the first place. They're like bang, 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 bang. It's weird. It's a build up. Just put it back to the normal place. I think it would work after like 8 bars, but not 4. Very cool, dude. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, use the stereo separation thing, make it more mono in the build up. Like, that works. Attention, wide becomes mono. Like, do that. That's what I was literally saying in like the other submission. That's how you make the drop more impactful. And look how much it paid off. And then the bass is just fucking wide. Doesn't matter how sick the sound design is, it's the impact of the drop. Like, you established that drop so well. That was great execution. I will say, in this part, the bass is really sick sound design. It's, the energy is kind of not there. Like, you had it in this first bass hit. Sorry, I was gonna like burp and I couldn't get it out. You had like a cymbal on the kick. And then here, the cymbal's just not there. I don't know why. Just add the cymbal here, just playing a quarter note pattern. I think you're kind of adding a bit too many fills. Like that screech, for me, I would extend it out to almost the very end. Yeah, I feel like now you're adding like too many fills and like glitchy things in here. It's important that you stay with like a pattern for a bit. Repetitiveness can be bad, but it's also in human nature for us to like repetition, to expect things. Um, so kind of stick with a flow for like 8 bars of some sort. And you don't have to like add a fill every 4 or even 2 bars in some cases in here. Like they are cool, yes. It's just kind of too much. Just take it down a little bit. I do like a switch up with the clap. I would say get a different clap sound. This one's kind of weak. Yeah, it's just a lot of like fills that don't need to be there. Good transition again. I feel like your drops would benefit a lot from just a simple hi-hat just playing, or tambourine in the background, just like pss, tss, tss, tss. Even like an offbeat like something like that. Very cool. Very cool. I feel like right here, it's a good flow. You're doing like the quarter note, like gun bass thing. But I feel like your supporting elements aren't emphasizing the quarter note part enough. Like you can add an offbeat thing, like an offbeat laser sound. You have that like that muffled laser, which is really cool, but you have it in the first drop, and it's not. It's like kind of leaving the gun bass, quarter note gun bass air out to dry. You can add some wetness, like an offbeat ride hat, something like that. I don't know what much to say here. I would say for this section, add that screech the entire time. Just screech. It's the last drop. Like, go crazy, go stupid. Ah. Really good submission, dude. I love this. My biggest problem just in general is the way you added the fills in the drop. You're just doing a lot, and it's overwhelming. There's a term for like this kind of thing where it's called being overproduced. There's a lot of talented artists out there, and they can go crazy with the biggest ideas, the biggest, most complex things ever. Just because it means it's complex, though, doesn't mean it makes it good. Like, you don't have to like explain why complexity in your song is good for every single time. Like simplicity can be good. Just like I said with repetition, um, expect things to be repetitive, and if you go off track too many times, too often, it's it leaves you kind of confused and it's hard to enjoy it. Like you have a million different things here that are all cool on their own, but it's hard to enjoy when you can't expect what the next sound's gonna be. And it kind of doesn't play in your favor anyways, because this is like Tear Out, it's dance music. You're supposed to dance to this. You should like play this on your DAW and try to dance to this. Unironically, try to dance to your song and see how easy it is. The easier it is to dance, the better it'll be to play out live. The better of a song it'll be for other people to play out your song. So like, if someone is like, "Hey, I want to play your tune," or a friend is like, "Hey, I want to play out your tune at this venue," they're gonna choose a song that's easy to dance to. And I'm not saying that like you should form a song around that, of only making it as danceable as possible, but you should keep in mind like what your audience is and what your goal is with the song. Like, are you trying to make a song for people to sit down and listen to and enjoy, like in their car, or just to pass time? Or are you writing a song for people to dance to get out, to move, to go crazy out, to work out even? Like, there's a lot of goals you can choose for what kind of music you want to make and how you want to make people feel. This is kind of like the more advanced side of production, because I feel like you have kind of gone past that threshold where now you start thinking about like what your goals are, your audiences, like song structuring is a real big one when you get like in the later stages of production. And I think you've probably reached that. Like your sound design's great, your mixing is up there. It is just a few issues, but really good. Keep that in mind. Like I had a few really complex songs that I was like, it's too much. And it's like experimental. And that's why it's experimental. I feel like your bass here could use more high end, like some kind of high end buzz. A trick I do is you can get. Gosh, I need a drink. Hold on. Talking this much makes me really fucking thirsty. What I do is I get like a ring mod plugin, and I put the modulator to white noise, and then I make it only affect the highest frequency, and I mix it in at like 3%. And what that does is it adds white noise to your sound, but very little. But it's noticeable, especially if you put it like before OTT, because if you put it before OTT, it's gonna obviously bring it up really high up, so it's gonna be like that buzzing sound. If you want kind of like a more gritty, like what do you call that white noise bass? Just the white noise bass, where it's like the really buzzy white noise that like no producers do or some shit. You can just like get another serum out, get a sine wave, get some high pass white noise, just sort those puppies together, high pass it, and just layer over your bass. So it's like a bzz, 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 you know, along with your bass, and that can add some really cool high end texture. I kind of have a problem with how you mix your kick. Are you switching kicks? No, I don't think you were. Your snare sounds like it's hitting the mastering chain really hard, like it's being limited really hard, which I think works. It sounds fine. But your kick, it's hard to like pinpoint what's up with the kick. It's just not impacting enough. I maybe just choose a different kick. Because from what I can tell, it's not that you're mixing it badly. It just might not be the right kick. Hold on 1 second. Alright, I'm back. Yeah, it might just be the kick. Like, it's hitting in like the higher registers of the sub bass. Yeah, this might just replace that. I think that would be enough. It would be a lot of work for me to tell you like how to fucking EQ it, and it's probably just for the best to just replace the kick. Yeah, that's about it for this song. Good submission. Hope you win. I just let them make mine. I'm not done with mine at all. Rip. Okay, Kuroi. Sorry, Kuroi. Kinda went off on Mecha Wolf. Alright, let's hear yours. Well, this is the part I was like, what? Oh, also, yeah, Mecha Wolf, I was just like talking about how people just slam the basic horn stem at the very start of the song, and they're just like, ah, it's good enough. If you literally do like anything more than pitching it, like you're already doing way better than every other remix out there. Anyways, back to core. I heard my own impact down there. It's cool. Nice. Okay. Okay, who the fuck is this little guy? Who is this little guy? Got 17 followers. Nah, bro. Nah, you're someone. This is really good. It might just be like a rebrand. Also, you have like good art here. This is pretty good. Who is this guy? Who are you? Who are you, I'll put the notes in here. I forgot to put the notes in. Oh, yeah, okay. So this part, like that fill was so weird. Like that was so confusing to me. Fix this fill. You do not need to have the kick there being like, it's distorted too much. Just either take it out or have something else to be a fill. Also, the kick here is way too distorted. You need to turn the kick down. It's kind of like a misconception with how you should mix your kicks. Just because it sounds good here, your kick, doesn't mean it'll sound good in every other place in the mix. You should separate your kick from the drop to like these sections. What I typically do for my kicks is if I'm using the same kick from the drop, I'm going to turn it down other sections. This part, you have a lot of distorted basses, a lot of distorted sounds, a lot of high end, a lot of energy. So you kind of have to turn your kick up to compensate with the energy of the drop, right? But in the parts where there isn't that energy, you just have this really fucking distorted kick, and it's just really abrasive. So you can turn the kick down just a little bit, like 2 or 3 decibels, and it'll be enough to like ease it out. It won't be as distorted. You won't hear the low end just fucking blowing out the speakers. Or you could choose a different kick and just mix that in differently. The point is that you don't want your kick to be blowing out the sub like it is here. Like this is just way too distortion, way too ridiculous. I'd also say like high pass it or something, man. Like it's so much bass here, and it takes away from your drop. High pass it, turn it down. There's that like vocal that comes before the drop. Do a slight cut before. Like I'm talking like a 16th note, 32 note thing. Like super small cut before. That way it'll make the impact of the drop a bit better. It kind of meshes together a little too much. You can add a little bit of a gap between there. Yeah, I mean, good sound design, good mixing. But you gotta variate that bass, man. That bass is going on for way too long. Like, do some kind of change. If I feel like I need to skip the song in order to feel something, like, you gotta change it. Because I get, like, over here, I'm like, okay, this is the same sound. I skip over it and it sounds the exact same, and that just makes me want to skip over here. Your breakdown is really, really basic. You can add something there. You can add like some laser sounds, some kind of thing here. You can just stack more impacts on. It's just really, really basic here. Your intro's pretty cool. This like weird melodic thing. It's just like boring though. Like the same sound for 16 bars. Like it's just like okay. Like, you know, I'm not feeling any way about this. It's just okay, I just want to get to the drop. The drop's the cool part. Just put me there, man. Thank you very much for the feedback. I kind of subconsciously felt the issues you talked about, but I also ignore them when I was making the track and hoped that it makes the impact anyways. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's it's kind of something that you like sit down and like listen to later on. That's why like digesting your song is really important. Um, I think this is a good example of like a dubstep song that has a really cool drop, but the intro is just very skippable, very boring. It's like you put all your time into making the drop sound really cool, and they spent like an hour making the intro and the breakdown. Like that's what it sounds like to me. It's nothing interesting going on here. And you aren't gonna have the song be remembered with this intro. Again, like do that test where you have a part of your song and try to guess what song it is from just a sound effect. I did it earlier with the avoidable cause thing and like the how about that sound that Murata put in there. Like you can play that thing just once and you'll be like, oh, that's avoidable cause by Murata. Like, of course I know that song. But in here, it's like you don't really have any moments that are identifiable. This is the most identifiable part of the song. And it says, I just want to kill you. Like that's pretty okay, but like is someone gonna be able to guess that it's your song from this vocal? Probably not. If anything, they'll probably like think of the original person that made that vocal. Like, oh, why does it sound distorted and all weird? Like someone make a TikTok edit of this? That's my impression of that. Yeah, I mean, same problem with the first drop. Just not enough variation going on. You made a good like first drop. I wouldn't even say a full first drop. You just made a good like first 16 bars. But now it's time to add more. Put it to the next level. If you want people to treat you like you're the next level artist, make it next level. Having 16 bars of a really cool sound and good mixing isn't enough. I would say like go reference someone like Beast Boy. I wouldn't reference him for like mixing or mastering, but the way he lays out his songs are very interesting, very unique. Reference how he splits apart his song, his structure, how he added all these really cool notable effects, how he uses like a lot of vocals from various different rappers to make his song. Like they're so identifiable, it's crazy. And he's not known for his mixing or his mastering or even his sound design. He's just known for being really good at his song structuring. So that's what you should be leaning towards. That's about as much as I can say. It's overall a really good mixing sound design. It's just boring. And I'm sorry to say that because it does sound really good, but it's like I don't want to listen to this song for any more than 30 seconds. Alright, next submission. Another Mechwolf submission, and the note is, I love Agony. I couldn't remember whether I sent. I'm assuming it's the same. Oh, it is. Okay. So you just resubmitted the same one. Okay. Son of a witch. Son of a witch. Oh man, imagine being a son of a witch. That'd be so unfortunate. Oh shit. We got a trap artist in here, guys. Oh. Okay. Oh! Oh my gosh. Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna write down my notes. I'm gonna put my thoughts down. I'm gonna just talk about whatever this was. So give me a second. Gosh. Oh my gosh, dude. Okay. Fuck. Why? Like, why is it that loud? That's insane. Turn it down fucking 12 dB, dude. What the fuck? That's so loud, bro. What? Oh my gosh. And it's just... Oh, it's so jarring. Dude, I was right here. And I hear some of which, and like a little cute little telephone ring in the melody. And it's just fucking like loud as shit. Like that's I don't have words to express like how loud that is. Like put that into an LUFS meter and tell me how loud that is. There's no way it's below a negative number. It's positive. This is in the positive range for less. Like it can't be any lower. That's too loud. Turn the thing down. 10 decibels. The entire thing. It's funny because that growl is like not distorted, and then you just have the most distorted sound of all time ever. Okay. Alright, this part's cool. Just, you know, cool melody. Chill trap part. It is boring though. Nothing cool going on. You don't even have like any rap vocals. Like, just have like something, man. Add a rap vocal. Like take an acapella, chop it up, something. And you have this cool ass fucking guitar part that sounds cool for approximately 8 bars, and then you're like, wow, is this just like a guitar sample that you just took out and then placed? There's no other notes. And it's the same exact sample that's being played from the guitar. Like, it's a cool part. Just add more like notes. Also, the kick drum is distorting. You should just listen to djent metal and kind of like hear how they do it. Because there's more than one note and they have some other effects going on and like a more interesting drum pattern. You have just a 4 on the floor, crash cymbal playing. The kick is the most interesting thing, but then the snare is just on the downbeat, not the downbeat, but the snare's in the snare place, just doing its thing. Like, okay. I'm not sure like what you're using to get this guitar tone. It just sounds like a sample to me, like you just grabbed a guitar sample in and that's like what you did, but you can go further than that. If you're using Kontakt for like a guitar library, use like a sustain guitar sound and just degent it. I'd also say add more tracking. I think there are like 2 guitars playing in this, but it's not like wide enough and the voices just aren't there. Also, this is a really, really weird transition to go no drop. Like, why is it that you added your melody and like a guitar, or sorry, a phone ringtone in here as like your fill? That doesn't make any sense. You said you wanted general feedback. To be honest, there's not much to add here. It's so loud. Just turn everything down, dude. And that bass is not good. This one? That bass just, it sounds like an RC car winding up. I think it would sound cooler with the sound design if it wasn't so fucking loud. But those are my notes on that. Yeah. Okay, on to the next one. Oh, what? You submit 2? Oh, you did submit 2. Okay. Next one then. You also wanted just general notes on this. So I'll make this one quick since it's a second submission. I didn't have any rules for how many submissions you could put in, so this one will just be quick. Oh my gosh, you're the same problem. It's not as bad as the last one, but it is still so irritating. I don't even want to listen to this. Like, turn it down, man. It's straight up unlistenable. Your kick is too distorted here. Yeah, I mean, that's as much as I can say. It's just way too loud. I can't enjoy it. I can't appreciate your sound design or anything if it's this loud. Oh, this is really weird. I don't know what's going on here with this. That was a weird fill. I think your structuring is okay. Same with the last one. I can't enjoy it, man. Okay, on to the next one. Yeah. Excuse me. Record the guitars yourself. They sound good. Just add more to it. Like the tone, just you can just do more with it. Just put a little bit more time in it. It'll sound good. Your bass is just way too fucking loud though. I can't enjoy your basses, dude. Turn that shit down. What? Actually, if you are still in the stream, tell me like what are you mixing on? Are you mixing using headphones? Because if you were mixing on like laptop speakers, it would make sense to why it's that loud and why it hurts my ears. I just want to know like what you're using because that might be the issue too. Is like what you're using to reference the mix down or what you're using to mix at all. Because you might not even realize that it's that loud. But if you're still in the stream, like let me know because you should be referencing. This actually goes for like everyone, but you should be referencing your mix on like as much as possible. Like go to your car, reference your mix down, be like, why is there so much sound on this? Go to like your friend's house, put on a speaker, listen to that, and be like, why is the hi-hat so annoying? Go to like your laptop speaker, play it through there, and see if what you can hear. If you can hear all the elements and they're not all like just white noise, then you're doing a good job. If it's really consistent between all of those things and it sounds good on all of those devices, then you're good. If there's even one device where it sounds awful, you can make adjustments to make it sound good on that one without compromising the quality of sound on all the other devices. Mecha Wolf. Song. Piazza. So I'm gonna skip around a little bit more, just because we've been going on for 2 hours already. Okay. I mean, again, I like it. Very solid submission. I need to get a drink again. Woo-wee. Okay. Intro's fine. I mean, it's an intro. It works. It's okay. It's nothing amazing, but it works. Your build up here is like too mono. This is kind of like past the point where it's like I can tell you added mono to it. You can add mono or like a stereo effect on the master, but you have to be careful that it affects everything on your song and not just certain elements. I would say if you're gonna add this stereo effects thing where you make the build up mono, try to choose like a bus Like if you're a bass bus, try to make that mono first. If it's not enough, then you can go on to the bass bus and the drum bus if you have one. If you don't, then you should make a drum bus. Make that mono 2. And if like you just need everything turned down more mono, you can use a master. But having a drum bus and a bass bus with the stereo effects on it to make it more mono should work. The reason why it's kind of bad to do it on the master for certain cases, and this is one of them, is because it does it uniformly. So all your sounds are just going to be squished. But you don't need to have all of them squished. Like, you can have your low end be wide still if you want it to be. You can have your high end be wider still. So like an effect that has like white noise or something that is wide, you can just still have that wide. It won't take away from the drop. You just want that kind of mono to make the wide part of the drop. If you need help figuring out what should be wide, find the widest thing in the drop and then take it down in the build up. So your basses are very wide in this one. So you can start off with just making the basses mono in this part. I also feel like you should automate the width. So this first part of the build up should be wider, and then it'll just progressively get more mono. I feel like your drums are kind of too quiet. Your snare is like, it's loud enough in the mids where the fundamental is, but the noise, like the release or the tail of the snare is just really quiet. I think a good way to fix it is just to get a high shelf and just boost it about 4 decibels on the high end. Just boost it. That should be enough to fix it. Your kick, you should just turn it up a little bit. Do like a 3 decibel boost to it. Just the entire thing. Boost it up. This one, you got a really good flow going on. Really good flow. I think you are using the respace too much. Like, the respace here, and then immediately after you have the again. You should replace this respace with another bass sound. Just change the bass sound. Yeah, dude, just good song. I just like it. Good. Good job. Good job, you. Excuse me. Next we have Ultion. Ultion. This is an old track though, a bit like 6 months old, less technical than the latest remix. Yeah, I get that. I mean, like, a lot of my songs are pretty old at this point. I have some that aren't released still, and they're like a year old, and I'm gonna release those soon. And it's just like, those aren't my like latest and greatest, but it's, you know, whatever. I mean, this is what you're capable of, and if it's 6 months ago, like, you've clearly progressed a lot more now. But I mean, it's still really good, solid song. There's not much to comment on it still. I think between those two songs, the thing I see most common is your drums are just kind of dull. bring up the loudness of some of them sometimes, and bring up the high end of it. I think a good test for you is to render out your song, like play it on your phone or laptop, and hear if you can hear the kick and snare on the laptop. If you can't, you need to make adjustments. You want your kick and snare to at least be like there to kind of emphasize the rhythm on like a laptop or a speakerphone, because some people they listen on just speakerphones or phone speakers. Doesn't mean that you have to make that your number one priority for mixing, but it's just a good test to know if your kick and snare are hitting through enough. A really common thing with like beat producers is like they rely on 808s, right, for a lot of their beats, and they don't realize that you can't hear 808s on a phone speaker. They're like, why can't anybody? Why is nobody vibing with my song through the phone when I put them on TikTok? Well, it's because those phone speakers can't render out audio at that low of a frequency. Like the lowest they can go is probably like 200 hertz or something crazy. Like they just can't hear it. And something that is interesting with the human ear is that you can hear the harmonics of a sound, and your brain will piece together the fundamental of that waveform. So say for example, you play I don't know, like a saw wave or square wave. Actually, that'd be a better example. Let's say you have a square wave and you high pass it I don't know, like in the middle somewhere. If you play that square wave and you don't hear the fundamental, you don't even hear the first like 3 harmonics, your brain will still piece together what the fundamental is. Like your brain will be able to tell where the fundamental is, and it'll kind of like make you I don't know the word for it. You'll like hallucinate hearing the low end or the first harmonic in there. It's a weird science that goes on with that, but like a common feedback that people get for like beat producers is to add upper harmonics to their 808, so that way even if they're listening to phone speakers and they can't hear the lowest harmonic, the sub bass, their brain can still piece together where the sub is. So there's an interesting science in that. And let's move on to Ultion. I don't think that's how I pronounce your name. It might be Ultion. So sorry if I get it wrong. My apologies. It's these dubstep names, bro. They can be whatever you want them to be. Someone had a song or like an artist name, and I thought it was like Scarred or something, but it's Sacred, and it's like how do you like get that from just 4 letters, Sacred, instead of Scarred or Scored? Like the way you pronounce his names, you gotta make it clear. I think Ultion is correct. I'm not sure. Anyways. Oh! That's it. That is dope. I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was yummy. That was a yummy little snack. I felt like I just opened up like a dessert and just ate it just now. That was fucking cool. My feedback really isn't much, man. You had good mixing, you had good sound design, mastering was good. The only thing I really thought about is like really spooky ambient intro. and everything's like kind of in the background. You have like really, I guess, reverbed out elements, stuff that sits in the background. You can add foreground elements. Um, Something that would be cool is like a Geiger counter. Is that what they're called? Like the radiation things. One of those guys. You can add like a really dry sound effect. Even like scraping a rock, just something, some foliage, some ear candy. That's what I like to use is ear candy. Things that aren't reverbed out, that are really dry and can be panned left and right. Good examples are like key jingling sounds, wind chimes. Those are really dry sounding. Even like the crackle of a vinyl record. If you remember like those samples that people would use in like their lo-fi dog shit hip hop remixes, they would put like the vinyl crackle in their song to make it more authentic or whatever. That is like an ear candy element. It's a really dry crackle. I think that would benefit in this case. I'm not saying like the vinyl crackle specifically, but something like that. Something where it's dry. It kind of hits the foreground of your ear. Like it's really good. The little fake out, it can use a bit more work. Like your bass is completely dry here, with the exception of like reverb. And then like it doesn't hit any harder. The point of the fake out is to make like to add more suspense. You have the build up here, or what's supposed to be here. You don't have a build up, so it makes the pre-drop even, or not sorry, not the pre-drop. It makes the fake out even more important in this case, because you don't have a build up to build up that tension. You just are going straight to the drop. Make the gosh, I keep saying pre-drop. Make the fake out build up the tension for you. You don't have a build up. Just make the pre-drop, or gosh, fuck. Make the fake out, build up the tension for you, high pass the bass, or put convulsion on it, band pass it, something. You have the bass playing through, and you have the high end of the bass also coming through. Neither of those things are helping add impact to your main drop. You need to cut something, because it's adding nothing. You're not adding any tension to this. It's just making it awkward. And yeah, I mean, this whole song's great. I love the rest of that. Good. It's like a little treat, dude. Went out, got some Starbucks, vibe into this. Okay, next one. Mecha Wolf, another one from Mecha Wolf. Oh my goodness. Oh, wait, you just have, okay, you submitted this again, because I asked you to. Okay. Ugh. Next one is Disrupt. I don't know. Disrupt. Do you don't even have like an artist name? Revo. Oh, you have some notes here. Just looking for general feedback. This is my most recent project file. Not entirely finished, but everything intro to drop is chill. Just a chill guy. Did mentoring with Nimda for a while, and he is pretty brutally honest with his feedback, so I'm used to whatever you have for me. Pride myself on sound designing my own sounds and using minimal sampling for some FX and maybe drums. Okay, so you are a big sound design nerd just like me, and you also mentored with Nimda. I'm also known for being really honest and pretty brutal with my feedback. I mean, if you were here earlier, you probably witnessed me kind of rip someone else apart. It's nothing like personal. It's just like I want people to be better at music, and in this kind of culture, everyone's like too nice to say things that they don't like about a song, and I think it's really bad for artists. When I was starting out, that's all everybody said to me was fucking, "Oh, your song's really wow. There's nothing wrong with it. It's perfect. It's great. You only started a year ago? Dude, you could get on Ausla or NCS, like you're that good." And I was like, holy shit, I don't need to prove anything. I'm just as good. I just need to get lucky. Everyone that is better than me or on NCS or Monster Cat, they're just lucky. Like, I was in that mentality for like 4 years. And I was like, 4 years later, I'm like, why am I not on NCS yet? I submitted my song to NCS, and everybody says that my song's amazing and the best in the world. And I had this bad expectation. It's like if I had someone there to say your song is shit, I would have been like, well, why is it shit? I probably wouldn't have been offended at first, but if they explained to me why it's shit and I understood how to fix it, then I wouldn't be upset anymore. I'd be like, holy shit, he's right. I listened to my songs even 2 years ago. I'm like, wow, that's fucking ass. I instantly recognize problems I had from songs that are 2 years ago. I'm like, holy shit, the mixing's ass, the drum's too loud, like you should be able to look back even 6 months ago and be like, there's a problem in this song. I want to fix this. I have the new knowledge given to me with experience and with new things I've learned that I want to apply it now to an older song that I made. That's what you should be thinking, that you should have that much progress that happens. Just because you're an artist doesn't mean that everything you do is just christened with grace. You have so much more learning. And with dubstep in the scene being so fast paced, you have to be cutting edge with every single song. You gotta learn so much faster than everybody else. Like, there are kids, bro, don't even get me started. There are kids in this scene that are like nobodies, and they have so much knowledge about how to do stuff. You have all these new producers coming out with insane sound design. I think Deviate is one of the examples. Dude was like a nobody like 2 or 3 years ago, and now he's playing like huge shows. Like, everybody knows his name now. You have Noir, who is also the same person. Wasn't really known like 2 years ago, and now suddenly everybody's all over them. Beast Boy was also like that. I remember, I can't remember what remix it was. It was one of the Disciple remixes, but it was around the time that I made mine. He wasn't anybody back then, and now he's a signed artist on Disciple. It's like these people, they grow so fast. They know a lot. They learn stuff very quickly. So you should be put on that same pedestal. You have to learn. Honesty is what builds you. And you should take it at face value. Even if someone's wrong about it, you have to know there's a problem in your song and that you need to work on it. That's the whole goal of it. So if you take offense to me giving you feedback, you should please understand my viewpoint and what my goals are. If you are still offended, then you need to do some soul searching and figure out like how to take criticism. This is the most critical part of the music industry. And criticism gets you further than anything else could. Alright, without further ado, let's go to Disrupt. There's this thing where like I talk and for some reason I fucking hold my breath while I talk. It's really bad. Okay, I'm just gonna say right off the rip, you're gonna have a vocal sample with some cool monologue or something. Make it easier to listen to. I have no idea what this guy is saying, and I'm sure it's cool. But fuck, I want to know what he's saying so I get put in the atmosphere. You're building a story with this, and I can't hear a single word he's saying.
Hurry and failure to heed safety warnings can also endanger those doing routine maintenance. Improper blocking and failure to block are major causes of crushing accidents.
I think I've heard this vocal before. I know this. I know this vocal. Hold on. Go to the depths.
The heat safety warnings
Yeah.
can also endanger those doing routine maintenance.
It's the same exact vocal.
Doing routine maintenance.
Yeah. He just like bit crushed it to make it unlistenable.
Improper blocking and failure to block are major causes of crushing accidents. We're dealing with enormous weight.
Yeah, your vocal was just already used somewhere else. I don't think people are gonna make a big ruckus about it, but I noticed it immediately. So
Emergency. This is not a drill. Stand clear. OSHA violation.
Proceed with caution. You have been warned. Risk is unknown. Please stand by.
Fuck off.
okay. It's another one of those submissions where it's too loud. I would rather you guys submit me a song that is quiet than this loud. Your loudness can be done later, and it's so easy to fix. And if you submit a song that's too loud, it's really hard for me to give feedback on it, especially with mixing. Because you've pushed everything to the max, I don't have any dynamics or a reference for how loud anything is. It's just everything's too loud, and I can't tell you what to boost on certain sounds, what to cut, what elements to turn down, because it's so loud. So it's just, when you submit a song that is this loud, it's at the cost to you for the quality of feedback that I'm giving. I can't tell you for shit if your kick is too loud, if your snare is too loud, if a background element is too loud. I can't tell you any of that. So my feedback is so limited when you submit me something like this. It's not even like that bad, but still, if you submit a song that's super distorted, yeah, I can't give you that great feedback.
Stop yourself. Your cause is a crushing.
You got the 1980s safety vid. I mean, yeah, I know where it's from. It's just so recognizable at this point, you know? Like, I think everybody's using it. If you wanted a song that is identifiable, this is not the way to do it, to have the same safety vid being played. Because everybody knows that vocal. And, yeah, just try to add something else, I guess. Make sure it's not copyrighted, of course.
We're dealing with enormous weight.
There's a way you can add this growl that won't be so abrasive and disruptive to the other before. You could just add reverb to it, like have it, or add a convulsion maybe. Convulsion, just a really short impulse on here. I think that would be good enough. Yeah, build's just way too loud, dude. The build up like structure is good. Like you have that cool like it's like a waltz or some kind of shit. Oh, that's good. But your bass is so fucking loud, bro. Like filter it or something. Add risers.
Stand clear. OSHA violation.
It's also really confusing because you have a really loud, like, high-end heavy sound here. You have this like bit crush thing that doesn't take nearly as much space as the first one. I think your sound design is good. It's like really screechy, and I like it. I appreciate it. This sounds weird though. I can like barely hear if you have a sub. Like that's why it's so bad that you had this that loud. I can like just not hear the sub at all.
Stand clear.
Your sound switcher seems pretty good. Like all the arrangements. It's good.
Stand clear.
It's a drill.
I think for sound design wise, you can add more movement to this bass. So it's very static right now. It goes bang bang bang. You can add a low pass at some point. So if you are using, I don't know what like VST you're using, obviously, but if you can, I think it'd be good if you added a low pass somewhere in the chain. And I would say add the low pass somewhere earlier in your processing chain, so that way the effects like saturation can be put on top and it'll still have some of that character instead of just like a lame ass low pass.
Stand clear.
I'm kind of hearing like some kind of gritty low pass thing. You could also automate your distortion to add bias at the very end of that bass, because bias makes it sound really gritty.
OSHA violation.
Yeah, there's not much else to comment about this. It's really short. A bulk of it is just how loud and noisy it is. And I can't give like good feedback because of that.
Stand clear.
Please stand by.
Fuck off.
It seems fine. Yeah. I want to say more about the mixing because I know there's issues in here. But I don't want to bring up like, oh yeah, your kick is mixed badly, and then not present like a solution for it, because it's unhelpful to say the mix is your kick is bad. But I think your kick has a big issue. I just don't know what to say to fix it, and it might just be that you need to turn it down. Like, if I try to explain a way to fix your kick without hearing what it sounds like, without all this distortion, I might be giving you bad advice, because if you turn everything down and it ends up sounding good, then you might be like, oh, well, the kick is still bad. I should change the kick somehow. So I don't want to say to change it. It's just, there's something wrong with it. And I don't know if it's because of distortion that you have on, because of all the loudness of how loud everything is. So I'll just leave it as that. Like, it's just too loud. Everything's too loud. Just turn everything down. But your pride for your sound design, I mean, it's pretty warranted. So you have some pretty good sound design. I'll give you that. Yeah, that's about it for the feedback for that song. I like how you say it's chill. Everything from the
Also in danger.
intro to the first drop is chill. Just a chill guy.
Stand clear.
I think at some point you could add more to this. It's just a really basic. Like the structuring is good, the arrangement is good. It's just basic.
This is not a drill.
Just don't have anything like crazy going on. Anything important. Still, I mean, the feedback where I said earlier, where you need to have an identifiable element like a motif, that still applies. Nothing in here is interesting to me. Like, you could put this in front of me, and within 4 hours, I'll be like, oh, what's this song? Like, I would completely forget it. I wouldn't know who this is. I wouldn't know what song this is. I wouldn't know anything. It would just be out of my mind. I would forget about it instantly. Make your songs memorable. I can't stress it enough. Make them memorable. You can do it. I believe in you. Anyways, that's about it for all the feedback that I have for today. I think that's the last submission. Yeah, we got 12 submissions. I think 2 of those were just resubmissions of the same song. So really just 10 submissions. I know damn well that next week I'm gonna have probably a lot more. So for next week, I'm gonna probably make the YouTube stream public for everyone, but then limit who can submit for just Patreon members. I don't think keeping the live stream private would be to any benefit, and it's not like you guys are losing your value if I make it the live stream public. It's just other people can tune in. One advice for new producers: make it tonal. Like the basses, yeah. When you have really noisy basses, I think it's really hard to make it. What'd you even say? Oh, I didn't even like save this thing. What'd you even say? Like identifiable. I think that's the best word. Identifiable. But yeah, next week I'll probably public this live stream just so people can look back on it, or if people missed it, you know, it'll be on YouTube. Next week the live stream will be public, and I'll only take submissions through Patreon. I don't know if I should keep using the Google Forms, because obviously, like, if someone gets a hold of that link, then people who aren't members can use that link. So that's what I'm a little hectic on. I think if I made a post on the home screen and then only allow members to comment their song, I think that would work best. But let me know what would work best for you guys. I don't want people taking advantage of just sending me links and getting feedback for free if they aren't a member. So, because that would take away value from you guys. Anyways, that was the feedback stream. First ever one. So, woo! I think I did pretty okay. Like, there wasn't any technical difficulties as far as I can tell with the stream. So I'm glad. You know, and I think I got it done in a pretty timely manner. 10 submissions over a span of like 2 hours is pretty okay. I do need to just get used to this formula though. So anyways, guys, I'll leave it as that. So thank you all for coming by. Hope y'all send more stuff for next week.